Getting everything going live is going to be a little bit rough. We're going to try to make it work. I told you guys yesterday that we had some issues with the streaming, but it's all good. We're gonna make it work. Like I said, welcome to This and That. I'm your host Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. We're going to be doing some Q&As from the fans. It's going to be a lot of wild and interesting questions that are going to be coming from the fans, and then we're going to provide our recognition and responses to those questions. Before we get started, I want you guys to like and subscribe, join the membership. If you could do me a justice and hit that like button, hit that follow me button, show us some support on the podcast. Greatly appreciate it. We are live 7 nights a week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and 5 Pacific. So make sure that you keep an eye out for us. I see you guys coming in on TikTok. I greatly appreciate that. Okay. So let's get charge notifications. TikTok platform is a lot more difficult than the other ones that I stream with. We're going to be trying to get us a stream key going. That way we don't have to deal with so many. As you guys come in, I want you guys to enjoy the Q&A that we're going to be giving. I'm going to be coming off with some left field responses, but I feel like it's necessary to do so because I come from the ability to make it make sense, and when a situation just doesn't make sense, I'm not going to sugarcoat it or tiptoe around it. Now, remember, you guys, if you guys join the membership, you have the ability to get discounts on some of our merchandise. We have some TikTok exclusive merchandise on the YouTube store. You can see 2 of the stores on YouTube, and 2 stores are also available on Twitch for those of you that are watching us on Twitch. Those membership discounts aid you in purchasing more items. In addition to that, we also have affiliate items that we put up on all of our videos on YouTube, and you will start seeing those affiliate items streaming across the show as well. So with these hour-plus long videos, you're probably going to see 20, 30 items going across the screen on YouTube, but on TikTok, we haven't quite got the stores established yet. Also, trying to meet that subscriber goal. In order to make that happen, subscriptions and other such. You guys can also throw some love here and there. TikTok, you got drops and coin donations, little gifts that you guys can throw. TikTok, you also got the same. YouTube, you've got super likes, super emojis, special thanks, and super comments, ways you guys can support the podcast and help pay for the platform, amongst other things. So anything is better than nothing. We greatly appreciate everything. And I'm going to keep our display to a minimum because it's going to be some wild things. I came across some comments that just made me step back and say, I can't believe that this just happened. So let's go ahead and get started with it. First comment of the day.
So I met this guy online a while ago, and we immediately clicked. He kind of flirts with me over text, but I can't tell if he's just nice or if he's actually flirting with me. I like him, but I don't know what to do about it since I'm scared of rejection.
Well, you go talk to him is probably the best way to go about doing that. Men have more concerns about rejection than women do. I can't say that women are in any way, shape, or form more subconscious than men when it comes down to rejection, but women do not experience rejection nearly as much as men experience rejection because it has been sociologically in the Western culture been the man's responsibility to engage, even though we do have this fictitious identity of equality in modern society where women have the obligation and responsibility to engage and start first contact. It is more often than not seen and expected that a man is not considered a man if the man doesn't make the first move, doesn't pay for the first date, and doesn't initiate and navigate the entire rest of the social interactions between the two parties. So it is highly difficult to sit back and say that a man is going to reject you if you gave him the favor that he was looking for or expecting. I strongly believe that if the guy was in any way, shape, or form flirting with you, and he received communication from him that you were positively receiving his flirtatious behavior, that he would then try to take it to a level above just sitting there communicating with one another. So, likewise, I strongly encourage that you go ahead and reach out to the guy and try to, advance your engagements with one another beyond just simple banter back and forward. Uh, Fact is that men are more straightforward than women are. So men are not going to beat around the bush. They're not going to behind the scenes the situation. They're not going to imply that they're interested in you. They're going to straight up say it. So I mean, if the guy is making comments that reflect the fact that he's into you, then well, he's into you. There is no this isn't going to be a situation where men are going to say one thing and then mean something else. They're deliberately saying what they're saying because they are into you. So that means, ma'am, if you are interested in this guy, then you should see it through. All right, let's go ahead and touch base with the next question.
Why do a lot of men don't care about the sexual needs of a woman? I know there are lots of guys out there who love taking care of their sexual partners, so this is not for them. But it is no secret that a lot of men mainly care about their own sexual needs and have trouble giving to their sexual partner, even when in love and even when they have a long-term relationship with someone they adore. For me, it is actually needless to say that I take care of the needs of my sexual partner. When in a relationship, I even enjoy satisfying the other person. But this seems not to be the case for a lot of men. Out of pure curiosity. Why is that? Do you guys forget it? Has it something to do with empathy? Without judging it, I am just curious how that psychologically works within men.
If only I had some scotch to go with this coffee for that shit. Okay, so it's not just men that don't pay attention to their partners, women equally, if not more so, pay attention to the need sexually. So it's not just that a man is not, it's just the men that you are dating are not necessarily interested in reciprocation with you, but that is not a standard across the board behavior amongst all men or even most men. The thing is that a lot of the men that have started off with effective reciprocation and advanced initiations typically dwindle down their desire to reciprocate when they have experienced a plethora of selfish women in their engagements. Now that's going to be on both sides. Statistics have shown that people that are generous in the beginning, after they have engaged in social interaction over a period of time, those people tend to end up, when they're engaging selfish people, become more selfish. And that's going to mean that regardless of whether or not it's a man or a woman, if that person was dating people that were not as generous and expressive as he was, then that means that he would develop the behavior of not reciprocating and then start focusing on only achieving his own satisfactions because he has been in a plethora of relationships where his satisfaction was not considered. So when we take this under advisement, it is fair to say that upon first contact that you want to find out if this is an issue, if the person has had in their past relationships where the partner was less expressive, less reciprocating, less initiative, because if the person that you're engaging and interviewing right now is not used to somebody, putting them first, then they're going to put themselves first by instinct. And likewise, if you do like this person and you start a relationship with them, it takes a while to break a habit. So if a person has been used to being in long-term relationships where their partner has neglected them and they have found a way around that, it will take probably twice as long for you to break that habit for them to start reciprocating with you. And if you are not willing to be involved in that particular type of relationship, it is best for you to be aware of that going in, and then remove yourself from the relationship or remove yourself from the engagement before it becomes a relationship, before you invest yourself into a long-term situation where you personally are unsatisfied with it. So it is not a guy thing to be selfish in the bedroom. It is not a guy thing to be uh, emotionally distant. But you also have to understand that it is a guy thing, that we don't got to put 2 hours into getting you started so that you can get yours, whereas it only takes us 5 or 10 minutes to figure it out and get it done for ourselves. So when you're looking at the fact that there is a strong expectation for longevity from women that still want the men to go out and do the whole protecting and providing part of things, uh, men work, like physically work off of their stamina. So if you have a hardworking man, you're going to also have this problem where that hardworking man is going to be drained by the time he gets back from his jobs, and then you expect him to give you 2 to 4 hours of good times for your satisfaction, whereas his physical condition is depleted, and he can barely give himself 10 minutes of satisfaction. So if you take that into consideration, since you say that you actually do put focus towards pleasing your man and satisfying your man, uh, if you're massaging backs and rubbing feet and stuff to that effect, rubbing bath water and stuff to that effect, then I could see you having a complaint, because you would really be aiding in your man's rejuvenation, and then you would be seeing that he's not providing any type of recognition for you. But if you are trying to catch him fresh after a double shift, and you want him to treat you like those girls on OnlyFans, and uh, you expect that to happen on a regular basis when he got off from work, or first thing in the morning when he's on his way to work, and he doesn't have that time or that energy, you can't say that he is being selfish, because he does not have the capacity to provide you with the overly exaggerated time links that you would like. But that does not mean that he's not interested in seeing that you are happy. So, you got to really remember, are you being selfish about your expectations for him, or is he really just not providing you with the things that you would expect him to have? And you should have covered those bases in the beginning, because as you explained to me, this isn't a new relationship. So, uh, yeah. Okay, let's move on to our next question. They get better.
So, my friend Josh lives in another city. We met online many years ago and really connected. We play games together and talk to each other weekly. Last year, he told me he need a place to stay in my city, and I told he could stay with me. I still live with my mom, but her house is big and she never had any problems with my friends coming in. When he was here, we went partying, drinking and everything. And he was a big player. Talked to a lot of pretty girls, hooked up with a couple of them. Boy had game, I envy that, to be honest. But after a couple of days, I noticed my mom being a little too nice with him. All smiles, giggles. Not the kind of attention she ever gave to any of my friends. I never saw anything serious, however. So I ignored that. After he went home, Ahe asked when would he be back, and mentioned him a couple of times, what I found a little unusual. But the real issue was recent. When we were talking on Discord, last weekend, one of our friends, F21, confessed that she hooked up with her friend's dad. We all laughed and all. After that, Josh said that he too had an experience similar to hers. Everyone on the Discord group asked him to explain it, but he was too shy to tell any details. He's never shy. He only said that he also slept with some friend's mom, but never told the friend's name. I'm really sure that I'm the friend. And I don't know how to ask it. Or if I should ask anything.
Uh, yeah. So Truthfully, yeah, you're going to be in a position where you're the friend and you kind of see the signs, but you ignore it. You're in denial right now. It's just slapping you in the face because your friend is talking about it on Discord. But and I understand that nobody wants their homies to be sleeping with their mom. I can't say that that's part of the bro code, but you do kind of say that your parents are off limits for your friends. But the truth of the matter is that your family should have that same type of expectation that your friends are off limits to your parents. But if they don't have, if both the parent and the friend does not equally have that respect for you to not be getting involved with one another, regardless of how they feel uh, for each other, that they set boundaries of appropriate relationships as they are secondary in contact towards you as the primary. If they're not willing to do that, then there's like only two options that you have. You start cutting people off, or you just have to accept it. Because I mean, if mom's going to be sleeping with your friends, then don't bring your friends to your house. And if your friends are going to be sleeping with your mom, don't bring your friends around your mom. I know everybody's seen Road Trip and Stifler's Mom. I mean, if your friends are going to be smashing your moms, it's not you got to get better friends. But I can't just say that it's all the friend's fault, because I mean the mom has to participate in this particular type of behavior. So you really got to get control of your mom. And when I say get control of your mom, I mean find a better understanding with her, not actually try to control her, because I don't really believe that it is in the best interest of men to call themselves trying to control women. And I also believe that if women behave themselves the way they're expected to behave, or men are standing on their non-negotiable expectations for behavior, that there is no reason to control a woman. That if she does not do what you expect of her, then she will not be around you. So you don't have to control her. So if she chooses to be in your shadow, if she chooses to be in your corner, if she chooses to be wherever it is that you are, then she must follow your instructions, and she must be able to show you the same mutual respect that she's expecting you to show her. If she's not willing to do that, then you just got to replace her with somebody who will. Yeah, these comments are going to start getting a little bit more tense. I just recognized that one, and I'm like, oh boy, some of the next ones are going to be a little bit more severe.
I see a lot of questions around women not wanting to date broke men. But what if cards are reversed? What is your take? With the exception that these are financial hardships and I don't have a stable income, but always find jobs even if it's temporary. However, I do have bankruptcy due to previous financial abuse in the relationship.
Okay. So you're wondering if women will date a broke man. No, they will not. That's a short answer. No, they will not. It is a double standard. It is the most outrageous double standard that you can ever see. But we talk about these levels of social inequality on the podcast on a regular basis. So if we have any women on the podcast that want to jump in and say something, by all means, dive in and say something about this. But we understand that women expect men to be protectors and providers, and even if not protectors, because women believe that they can protect themselves, especially when they get a new Glock switch on their Glock 23 Australia. You got to understand that the women are going to want a man to provide for them, especially during these economical hardships. And there's going to be that expectation that if a man is not capable of providing for a woman, that the man is not worthy. So it is going to be highly unlikely that you will find a woman that will date a man that is broke. They won't date a man that is homeless. They won't date a man that's going on hard times, even if he's not broke. If he's just got more bills than he has money coming in for the moment, because he's dealing with a fluctuation of income, whether he lost a job, in transition of jobs, had a pay cut, came back off of an injury, whatever the case may be. If the money's not right now, then he will not be involved with her, because she's not going to have that. Women have their own, I can do battle by myself behavior, and they have their own expenses, and they have their own obligations. And if they can meet those obligations or subsidize the cost of those obligations by offsetting those obligations onto their friends, their male friends who will fund their existence, then or their friends with benefits who will fund their existence, then the women have what they need. And since women in modern Western society are not interested in companionship, they're into transactional relationships, we have to understand and accept the fact that they are not really giving two hoots about how nice you are and how friendly you are and how helpful you are. They really only care if you can pay their bills. So if you can't, sir, then yeah, you're not an option. And since you don't have the ability to afford to pay for women, as you guys seen that Franklin podcast on TikTok, you just got to recognize that you could be focusing more on getting your money up, finding other ways to expand your income, and really be looking at ways of making yourself a better you instead of trying to find yourself a special someone while you're broke down and out. Because while we all want that person that'll be there for you through thick and thin, they typically want to find you when it's thin. And if they're with you long enough, when it gets thick, they'll stick around. There's very few women, there's very few people, but there's definitely even less women than there are people in general that will meet you when it's thick and stick it out with you while it's thick, and then, you know, kind of gravitate closer to you when things thin out. So it's hard for you to even find friends when times are hard, especially when it comes down to meeting people and then needing to borrow money from somebody. So I mean, at the same time, you got to have a really decent sized friendship before you start saying, hey buddy, can I borrow some money? And with that being said, it's like, bro, if you're broke, you're not an option. You shouldn't even be trying to consider yourself an option if you're broke. If you're living at home and you're living off of somebody else's income and you're a dependent, you cannot be a leader if you're a dependent. You cannot be the alpha. You can't be in charge of the household if you are a dependent in somebody else's household. And if you think about that, and you think about women that want a man to lead them, and then you also think about the fact that if you are going to be a leader with this woman in your relationship, that you have to be capable and financially available to lead. So if you can't lead, unless you're going to go and date a cougar that's going to date a younger man and finance his standard of living, or go and find one of those alpha boss ladies that's an already made it and she doesn't have a problem with dating down, which is very, very, very rare. Unless you find that scenario, you're probably going to be single until you get your shit together, buddy. So I would tell you, square one, get your shit together. Then once you start getting you some stable income, stable housing, and stack up some of your resources, get you a little bit of finance under your belt, then you might be able to call yourself trying to see if you can find somebody that's in the ballpark of your level. But just remember, since women date up, if you're on her level, you're not an option. You have to be above her level to be an option. So if you're barely getting by, she's going to have to be homeless and broke. If you're making you a little bit of change, she's going to at least have to have a part-time job at a fast food restaurant. You got to understand where you are versus where she needs to be in order for her to date up and accept you as her quote unquote equal based on the hypergamy theorem. Because if you otherwise assume that you're both in a hospital, but you're working at the McDonald's and she's working at the nurse, she's not going to date you. She's going to say that you're beneath her because your job doesn't have the same prestige as hers, even though your job makes $25,000 to $30,000 a year more than hers. So you just got to understand that the social inequality, along with the social classism, is not going to be in a man's favor at all. And in order for us to bypass that, the only thing you can do is up your financial status. And once you up your financial status, then you'll be able to be more accepted by the opposite sex. So as we keep going through these questions, make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Make sure that you guys join the membership. And let's go ahead and get started with the next question.
I see a lot of questions around women not
Oh,
wanting
no.
to
Hold
date
on a second.
broke
We
men.
just had this
But
question.
what if cards are reversed? What is your
Yeah,
take?
you already asked that question,
With the
buddy.
exception that these are financial hardships and I don't have a stable income, but always find jobs even if it's temporary. However, I do have bankruptcy due to previous financial abuse in the relationship.
Okay, already answered that question.
I
I'm
am a
not sure.
28-year-old female and my
There we go.
boyfriend is 30. His ex hid a note about his cleaning after dating habits right before they broke up that I just found. How do I talk to him about cleaning habits without him feeling like I'm using his ex's words against him? Steve, have been together for 2 years and have been living together for 8 months. I read the note and brought it to show to him and hear his response. He immediately ripped it up and said not to listen to it, that she was crazy and untrustworthy. I told him that the fact that he hasn't found it in the 5 years since they broke up is a red flag to me because it does mean he's never cleaned back there and that he has been cleaning less and less since I moved in. He told me that it wasn't a problem before the note. This is just his ex continuing to manipulate and ruin his life and I was letting it work. We continued to argue along the same lines and I eventually left to spend the night at a friend's place. Steve has been a great boyfriend so far. He gets along with my family. He has given me gifts and flowers and always tells me how much he loves me. He's not wrong that the cleaning hasn't really been brought up before. The note made me realize it had been less and less and that we needed to have a full conversation. He texted me afterwards saying he's sorry that I felt like I had to leave but that it's an asshole move for me to take a note over our 2-year relationship and to leave him and our pets alone. I don't know what to do or what to believe right now. I'm contemplating trying to find and reach out to Natalia. Her name in real life is pretty unique so I think I could find her. Steve thinks I should come back home and let it go, that his past should affect our future. I feel like I could be the asshole because everything Steve has said about Natalia does make it sound like she was manipulative and petty throughout their relationship, but I don't know what to trust. Edit. I realized I didn't clarify enough about the points, especially the cleaning. Thought I'd add it here. When we moved in together 8 months ago, the cleaning was 50/50ths. Since then he's been doing things less and less and I'd say it's at like 70/30ths, maybe 60/40ths if he listens to me right away. It depends on the week. I have to remind him to do things like bring his plates to the sink or take out the trash and I didn't have to before. The dishes will pile up unless I do them, to the point he's had leftover food mold on the plates. I'm not a confrontational person so I was just asking him to fix it when it came up. The note made me reflect on it more and try to have an actual full conversation, and I will say I didn't feel listened to when I talked to him about it. I tried to use the note to start a conversation about cleaning and he got so stuck on that I was listening to his ex instead of him, that he wouldn't listen to what I think are valid concerns. He thinks I'm letting the note have confirmation bias, so no matter what he says I'll think he's in the wrong. Also, I didn't leave him permanently. This all happened yesterday and I only spent one night at a friend's because I didn't feel like our conversation was going anywhere last night and he wouldn't let me sleep until I let it go. I'm going back today and wanted to get advice and feedback before I do. I don't want to be in a relationship where I have to ask him repeatedly to clean. It was pointed out to me that he should have cleaned the shelves during his move from his ex's place. The fact that it hasn't been touched in 5 years is forcing me to take the knot seriously. I don't want to throw away 2 years so I am going to ask him to come up with some clear cleaning expectations with me and designated chores. I will make it clear that cleaning is absolutely a deal breaker for me. It's his decision on how he wants to respond.
Okay, so he's right. You have literally nothing to complain about, but you are causing an unnecessary problem, which is going to destroy your really good 2-year relationship where outside of the conflict that you've derived from the note that you found in the middle of nowhere behind some dark corners of the house, that you literally found a grenade that his ex left in his house that was a ticking time bomb to destroy his next relationship, and you used it and blew up your current relationship. You literally sabotaged something good because you found something from his past. And then you did the exact same thing that the other woman did, which was start unnecessary problems with the man where he otherwise had nothing else to cause a problem on. And that was an issue. So you started a problem with them and you didn't have to start that problem with them. Then after you start that problem with them, then you abandon the house and you go somewhere else. Why are you abandoning the house and going somewhere else? First and foremost, I'm just going to say this, and anybody who's a female that wants to get up here and argue against it, go ahead and chime in. I just want you to understand that if you are in an egalitarian relationship, it's not going to be It'll be a 30. It on a really, really, really good week, it might be 55-45. But you have to understand that in a relationship with the man is going to be putting in more money than effort. The woman is supposed to be putting in more effort than money. And if you are contributing to this relationship, the quantity of money that you're contributing into the relationship on top of what he's contributing to the relationship will offset whatever chores that's going on into the house. But truth be told, he's going to do less chores because you're going to do more chores, because you're going to do more stuff around the house, because he's going to be responsible to go out and go make more money and bring back more money to buy you more stuff, take you more places, and improve your standard of living. That is how things work traditionally. So you do your part and you're cleaning up more things around the house, and then you come to find this note in an area where he would not clean, and he never would have cleaned it in his last relationship, did not clean it in between relationships. And you're telling me that it's been 5 years since this woman is gone, and this piece of paper has been in a dark corner of his house for over 5 years. It doesn't prove her right. It just proves that she is going to destroy the future relationship. She leaves a grenade for 5 years, like a time capsule explosion. So that when you find it, that his next relationship, his very next relationship 5 years down the line, is now ruined. That is a very evil and bitter woman she was so pissed off at him that she was determined to fuck up his future by putting a grenade there and then leaving her contact information on that note so that you could tip her off that you got the note. That is some very narcissistic shit. Then, yes, he is right. He is completely right that you are using this note that you found to start a problem that you otherwise did not complain about. You never had anything to say about this before you found the note, so why are you starting shit about it now? And then because you found it now, which is going to give you a confirmation bias, you are going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, I'm not the only person who feels this way about you. No, but you're the only person that feels this way about him, because the last woman didn't leave him because of a cleaning problem. And you have to understand that the condition of his house was the condition of his house when you moved in, and you had no problem with how dirty or clean the house was. He wasn't 50-50 cleaning with you on a first date. You wasn't his housekeeper when he picked you up. So when you came over to his house, the condition of clean or the lack of clean that his house was, you were okay with that. The more comfortable you are around the house, the more extra shit you start doing. But one of the things that most men do not like is when a woman gets comfortable in the house and then she starts dictating shit. Why the fuck are you going to move into this guy's house and then start telling him what to do in the house? If you want to see something cleaned up, clean it up. You don't want to see it cleaned up, don't clean it up. But don't sit there and go and make this guy go and try to clean it up. At the end of the day, if you are the kind of woman that does not want a dirty house, then you should keep your house clean. You live with him, then you keep his house clean. If you don't mind having a dirty house, then don't clean the house. But for you to say, well, you're going to make it a thing, you're going to make it a conscious argument to go and pick fights with this guy because you're not cleaning up. That is not, you guys aren't roommates. You're in a relationship. And in a relationship, hopefully a relationship that's leading towards marriage, your wifely duties is making sure that shit like that is done. Now, some people are going to say, oh, I don't agree with that. Oh, why does it always got to be the woman's job to do? Now, I'm going to tell y'all again, because I said this on the show before. Y'all fought for liberation. Women's liberation fought for the freedom to have more responsibility, not the freedom from responsibility. So when you fought for your freedom to have more responsibility, you were not exonerated from your obligations as a woman to take care of the household duties. You just have the right to go out and get you a job and have even more duties. That does not mean that you don't ever have to do anything around the house. It just means that you can go and become the alpha, and you can go ahead and be the breadwinner of the house, and then you can pay the cost to be the boss. You could be in charge and dictate terms. But you're living in his house off of his resources, and you're telling me that you're complaining about his dishes needing to be clean in his house that he bought and paid for with the utilities that he's paying for, and you're going to tell me that you're complaining about the fact that you're not doing your job? Ma'am, you are causing unnecessary shit. I am not going to co-sign on your bullshit, because at the end of the day, if you did not want to have to clean the house yourself, you should hire a housekeeper. And you probably are going to have to find you a male housekeeper if you don't want him and the housekeeper to be too friendly with one another. But he's not going to be okay with other men in the house. So you're going to have to figure that part out. probably have to watch the female housekeeper, but money's coming out of your pocket, not his. And then you pay to clean up the shit. You pay somebody to clean up the shit you don't want to have clean. But for you to start a fight in the house over cleaning, you're telling me the man treats you exactly the way you want to be treated as a woman. He's kind, he's generous, he's extra loving and compassionate with you. And the only problem, he's not a cheater. You know where you can find him. The only problem you have is that's the only problem you got. My mama used to tell me when I was young, she used to say that when you find somebody and they meet at least 80% of your non-negotiable expectations for behavior, if the other 20% that you can tolerate for the rest of your life, then just stick with that. So if out of 100 things that this guy does right, if out of 10 things this guy does right, the one thing he does wrong is the damn cleaning, ma'am, that is 1%, 10%. That is not, you might as well just chalk that shit up and just go ahead and live a life with that man, because if that's the only flaw he got is that you got to pay for a housekeeper, then pay for a fucking housekeeper. Don't bitch about it. Just pay for a fucking housekeeper. If you want an egalitarian style of situation, y'all go half on a fucking housekeeper. But truth is, like, that's your part. You moved into the house. You keep the house clean. So why is you bitching? And then you only bitching because you found a note from his ex-girlfriend that you are in contact with. Why are you teaming up with the ex to start shit with the current? Like, that make no fucking sense. And he got every right to go in on you for days on end, because why did you start? If he just got out of a bad relationship with a bitch that started bullshit with him for no reason, and he got with you thinking he was going to have no drama. And not only does he have drama, he has drama about something his ex did and said 5 years ago. That's all right. Your relationship is dead, because you're not going to bounce back off of this one, man. You're not going to bounce back off of this one. This is going to be one of them situations where you're going to keep bringing it up. He's going to get tired of hearing the shit. He's going to drop you like a ton of bricks. If you don't leave first because of your petty ass behavior, then he's going to leave you because of your petty ass behavior. But in both situations, you just threw away a 2-year relationship. But statistically speaking, relationships are only lasting between 9 months and 2 years and 9 months anyway. So you are right at the top end of the average relationship falling apart over stupid shit. I don't get it. Y'all make it make sense. But let's go ahead and move on to the next comment.
I'm so frustrated with men asking if they can come over or for me to go to their place before we have even met. It's ridiculous. Why do men think this is okay? Sometimes it will happen within minutes of chatting on the site. When I call them out on it, they say they're different from other men. Really? 'Cause you just did what a dozen others did. Do men not realize the multitude of reasons why a woman will not do this? I'm really not trying to trash men, but I really want to know why this is a norm on apps. Any insight would be appreciated.
I got a lot of shit to say about this. All right, so first, let's start with financially the reason why men do this, because it costs too much fucking money for us to take y'all out there every fucking time to start spending money on y'all so that we can impress y'all. Y'all can just come over to the house. We can cook for y'all. We can watch some Netflix. We could play some Partigi or some shit, some Clue or some shit, do some Scrabble or some shit. Like, there's nothing that we owe. Ain't nothing that we can do at the club that we can't do at the house. I can set up the karaoke machine. We can have a few drinks. I can be your bartender. We can literally save thousands to get to know one another and be in a quiet place where we can actually talk to one another and actually be able to hear each other. Likewise, if I come over to your place, same scenario. The guys will be able to go over there and do all of the same shit. He can even bring the karaoke machine with him. You know, all of the stuff that you can do in a public place surrounded by thousands of people where you can't hear each other talk, or be in situations where you have competition with other people that are trying to pick up the girl that you're trying to pick up and y'all just met. You know, you don't have to go through any of that stuff. And it's more affordable. That's the first reason why guys will ask the situation. The second reason why a lot of people get on dating sites for the hookup culture. So outside of the people that are looking for serious relationships, especially homebodies, they're interested in serious relationships. The rest of the guys and girls are also, especially women, hookup culture. They'll swipe left until they see somebody that's physically attractive. And then if they engage in conversation, that don't really seem like a weirdo based on their conversation. You're gonna meet them in person. You don't really care what their backstory is because you're trying to do is sleep with this person. So in that scenario, you got an itch that needs to be scratched, then you're going to scratch that itch. So you're going to meet up at their place. They're going to meet up at your place. You're going to get it in instead of wasting time on a hotel, which is way more money. Again, financial situation. And you have to understand that that is 2/3 of the reason why most people, not just men and women, both end up on a platform talking to one another where they're trying to meet up and hook up or meet up and hang out closer to the house in a more exclusive scenario. You have females that will meet up with you to smoke. They'll meet up with you to drink. They'll meet up with you just to get hooked up, but they're not actually into anything long term. They're not actually into anything serious. Now, the third and most dominant reason why you're going to experience this, look at your fucking profile, man. Look at your motherfucking profile photos. If you look easy in these profile photos, clothes is too tight, too short, too revealing, too exposing, you are promoting sexual attention. You are promoting let's hook up and let's sleep together. You are promoting Netflix and chill with your profile photos. If you dress like a nun, and not a sexy nun, not a Halloween sexy nun outfit, like a legitimate nun, like take the sheets off your window and wrap up in them and just like cover your head and say, this is me. And the people who still want to talk to your ass when you're not revealing anything, when there's no prints showing, where there's no shadow in your dark sides, then you will be able to say that that person is interested in you for who you are. If you've got a back shot in your profile, take the back shot out. See how many people talk to you. If your crotch is in your photos, do one that's like above the chest, where all they can basically see is your face. See how many people come talk to you then. You know, if you don't show off your assets in order for a guy to say, oh, I can sleep with that because they're looking at your assets, then you would be attracting the kind of men that would actually be interested in who you are. They would be attracted in what you're capable of, as opposed to you showing them all of these lingerie, bathing suit, on the beach, at the pool, in the bed. You know, why are you in the bed taking a photo with full makeup on like you're about to go to work? Like all of that is leading, it's misleading to men, and it's leading to getting hit on by men where your profile says come fuck me, which is that's what they're trying to do. So if you did not set up the type of profile where your photos really scream just come fuck me, then they would be trying to do something other than that. But if that's the image that your profile is giving off because you're putting all of these provocative photos up onto your platform, even if they're semi-okay, you're putting up all of these provocative photos onto your platform, you are literally asking people to not respond positively to your platform. And that is one of the reasons why you're going to have so many people trying to hook up with you on the platform. Not just because men are dirtbags. Yeah, there are some dirtbag men out there, but there are a lot of good guys. And it's hard to find the good guys because you are one of many women that are dressing like she's either cheap or free. And in both situations, extremely easy if you got enough money to pay for it. Because you got some that are expensive that'll do whatever you want them to do as long as you pay for it. So the fact of the matter is that if you really don't want to be treated like eye candy, if you don't want to be treated like a pleasure object, then change your profile, change the photo so that you don't look like you're a pleasure object in your photo. You know, try long sleeve baggy clothes, a cardigan, collared. Try something that covers your belly button. Try something that goes below your knees. Try something that's not skin tight. Try something that does not show off any of your feminine features. That way, you'll be. They don't need to know that you have an hourglass figure until after they figure out what your fucking last name is. So why don't you dress like 1982 with extra baggy clothes and let them be like, okay, she's not fat. That's like the only thing that they can tell from your photo. But beyond that, they're not going to be able to tell anything. They can't tell if you're a 36, 24, 36, or if you're a 36, 36, 36. They don't know. All they know is that you're not overweight. That's all they know. And that's all they need to know. If they need to know that. So if you do a face shot and people are talking to you because they looked at your face and they like your face and they don't care about the rest of your body. They like your face and they want to get to know you better. That's probably going to be more effective than if you're showing off everything else. And I'm just going to tell you right now, Gen Zs, ladies, get your ass out your photos. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Get your ass out your photo. You should not have one photo that degrades or devalues you as a woman. So if you have your ass and your face in the same photo, you are not valuing yourself. Take your ass shots out. You don't need a side profile photo. You ma'am, are not an inmate. You are not facing the left, facing the right, and then facing forward. You are not doing all that. You should be able to take the same fucking profile photo that you used to take when you were back in middle school, the same high school photo that you used to take. You should not be taking photos where you have to reveal. You have to show them what. Here's I'm gonna say this right here because I got to put a short about this. Yeah, stop doing 360s, ladies. Stop spinning around for these motherfuckers. You're not a goddamn top. Stop spinning around. If they don't like you for who you are when you walked up, they don't need to know what you look like from behind. Because if they don't like your front, it don't matter what's got going on in the back. If he got to ask you to turn around, you should turn around and walk away. He asks you for a 360, you give him a 180 and you walk out. So stop degrading yourselves on purpose in order to attract somebody else. If you want to be valued, you have to carry yourself valuable. And if you're going to carry yourself valuable, you want men to accept you for who you are. They should be able to accept you for the front view. They should not have to see the back view to decide that despite all of the other things that they would have marked off on you, the back of you gives you some brownie points that will allow you to stay in the game. Because then in those situations, that particular type of man is actually still only interested in you in the sex area and has no interest in you anywhere else. And he might be able to develop interest in you because of the sex. But if you start a relationship that is driven off of lust, that relationship will fade faster than a relationship that is driven off of admiration and companionship and love and affection. So if you're going to continue to seek relationships that start off of lust because of the type of profile photos that you put up there, you are going to continue to get negative attention from the better part of society because that is the vibe you're giving off. All right. We're going to make that make sense, and then we're going to move on to the next one. Then we got a couple more here. Typically round up the big bottom half.
So I, a 25-year-old male, was being cheated on for a month by my 25-year-old girlfriend, and I found out last night. I followed my instincts when I sensed something wrong. The way she was behaving, the way she took offense to everything I said, the way she'd sweep away my concerns, the way she was speaking to me, or lack thereof. I am completely broken and don't have anything to lose. I gave my all to this relationship, stayed loyal, and I truly loved this girl. 4 years of my life. Took just one night for another guy. Last night all my instincts and my gut made me check her phone, which I never ever do, even though she's checked mine multiple times before and I didn't have anything to hide and she didn't find anything either. But I checked and my life crumbled that instant. She was dead against cheating for as long as I knew her until she ended up doing the exact thing she swore to me that she hated. And I know for a fact that I can never ever trust another woman again, and I know now that I'll never be able to love like that again. I don't know what to do now.
Get over it. That's the first thing that you're going to do. But the second thing you're going to do is you're going to say you're going to spend a lot of time in therapy, and you're going to spend a lot of time meditating on this shit. You're going to spend a lot of time by yourself trying to get past this bullshit. But one thing I am going to tell you is that the shit that she was treating, you didn't need confirmation to go through her phone and find out that she was cheating on you in order for you to leave her. The fact that she was disrespecting you in your relationship, bro, you should have got rid of her ass on that principle alone. You don't need to put the final nail in the coffin and, oh, she's also a cheater. First of all, let's just talk about the narcissistic behavior. When you see narcissistic behavior, they're going to shame and shun certain types of behavior that they do so that you don't do it too. Please don't develop that type of behavior because of what just happened to you. But this is typically what happens. They're going to say, no, not about cheating, this, that, and the third. But You already seen the red flags. She searches your phone to make sure you're not cheating because of her guilt that she's cheating. You have to understand that relationships are based off of trust, but trust is based off of me believing in you that you will not do the things that I will not do. So if I'm willing to do it, odds are you're willing to do it too. And if you're willing to do what I'm willing to do and I'm cheating, then probably you're cheating too. So if I got, before I get caught cheating, I'm going to see if you're cheating. That way, if you're cheating, then we can break up and I'm going to make it about you. But if I'm the only person cheating, then I just got to not get caught. That is the mindset of most people. So if you are in a situation and she's going through your phone because she got something to hide, bro, then at the end of the day, you should be dropping her off of that. She's over here start arguments with you. She's not respecting you. She's not acknowledging you. She's not validating your feelings. She is mistreating you in your relationship without an affair being part of the problem. You should have dropped her on that alone. Now, you're going to feel like the reason why you're being mistreated in your relationship is probably because she's already found somebody else. You need to validate your suspicions in order for you to leave. You should not have to validate your suspicions in order for you to leave. You should value yourself and recognize the fact that you don't like being treated a certain way and put your foot down. And if she is not going to respect your non-negotiable expectations for behavior, then you're going to get rid of her and you are going to move on and find somebody who will respect you the way you want to be respected. If she could have been cheating on you and you never would have known because you would have got rid of her because of her fucked up attitude. You would have just got rid of her. You just don't put up with the bullshit. You stuck around, hung out, and you waited the way that you needed to go so that you would feel better about yourself when you tell other people that she's cheating on you, and that's why you left her. So if she wasn't cheating on you, you would stay in this worthless relationship where she has no value in you, that she treats you like shit, but she's still utilizing all of your resources. That goes to show how little you respected yourself. That the only way that you would get out of a toxic relationship was if she was cheating on you. But if she's not cheating on you, you would try to make this toxic relationship work. All of these years that you'd have put into this toxic relationship, and now you found out that she cheated. Bro, she was interested in somebody else long before she started cheating, but the shit that y'all was going through in y'all relationship, she didn't give a fuck about this relationship, and she retired out the relationship and moved on and started exploring other options. And when your relationship stopped being positive, that's when your relationship was dead. So your relationship was on life support because she was smashing other people while she was still talking to you, because the comfort of living in your house, she don't got to change, but she don't got to put up with you either. So she's going to do her thing, and then she's going to come back and she's going to fight with you. And this is why some guys have no problem with being boyfriend number two, because they get the best sides of the girl, and all the worst sides of the girl goes back to her boyfriend. This is the reason why women have a man on the side, a fallback plan, so that when the primary guy backs out of the situation, she can fall back on the other guy that she was sleeping with. But in no situation where if you're both dedicated to each other and you're dedicated to the forever aspects of for better or for worse and through thick and thin and death do you part shit, then you're not going to have a backup plan. You're not going to have an alternative. You're not going to have an escape fund. You're not going to have a way out because you have no reason to leave. You have no expectations of leaving. If you were in your relationship should be like survival mode of Call of Duty. There is no going back. Once you hit the start button, you're going to be in it until you die. You're not backing out of this. You're not running away from this. There is no retreat. There is no tactical backup. There is no calling in no reserves. All you have is what you walked in here with, and that's all you're going to have until it's over. And once it runs out, it's out. Once it's done, it's done. You're not going to be able to say, "Oh, well, I tried and fuck it, whatever." No. You this, even if the relationship is on life support, you're doing it. You're doing it. You're going to counseling. If you got to go to group therapy, whatever the fuck you got to do, you're supposed to make it work. I can't believe that the Gen X people, the 1970s and 1960s, they found ways to make 20 and 30 year long marriages happen. They found a way to have 10, 15 years of friendships and relationships before they had 20, 30 years of marriage. They found a way to have 45, 50 years of togetherness. And our current generation can't do 2.5 years. Our current relationships in modern 2024 times, these relationships are starting and finishing inside of a 3-year car note. You're telling me that your brand new car will outlast your current relationship. You're telling me that the Jordans that you just bought off the shelf are going to outlast your current relationship. You're telling me that your Xbox Live membership is going to outlast your current relationship. You're telling me that the GTA release is going to happen before your relationship is successful. It makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely no sense. The fact that you're in a situation where you're not primarily focused on making this shit work, that you're just renting the girl because you're not, the dating phase is transactional. She's not working towards marriage. You're not working towards marriage. You just got a consistent sex partner that you rent. You provide her with the money that she needs to take care of the shit that she wants to take care of. And then you get consistent sex from her at her discretion, because she's not going to do it whenever you want to do it. She's going to do it whenever she feels like it. And if she doesn't feel like it, you are going to be emotionally starved, but you're still going to pay for it. Man, you would do better going to Backpage too. If you are going to get you a female that's going to do whatever it is that you want her to do, at least if you're going to be paying for this shit, that you're going to get what you're looking for out of the deal. It makes absolutely no sense that you are investing extensive periods of time, money, and effort into a woman, and then she's going to mistreat you on top of that. How dare you allow yourself to go through that? I'm not even going to blame her for that, sir. I'm going to blame you, because you need to be able to, as a man, put your foot down on these non-negotiable expectations for behavior and tell whoever it is that you are talking to that you are not putting up with that shit. If you are not the leader of your household, then you are not a leader. And if you are not a leader, then you better be following somebody. And whoever the fuck you're following better be paying for all of your shit. Because if you're paying for yourself and her, and she's in charge of your shit, then you are really fucking your life up. You need to really think about your situation, rethink your situation, and analyze how you are going to get yourself out of this bullshit. Because I have never seen a convict put themselves on probation so that they can violate their probation and go to prison. But that is what we are doing in these relationships. We are deliberately putting ourselves in a financial constraint that we cannot afford so that we can be bullied and bossed around and mistreated. And then after we run out of money, she's going to leave us for a man with more money, but she will stick around long enough to get every fucking penny that we got. And then after she's gone, we're sitting over here wondering what the fuck happened. And then we're talking about, oh, we're never going to trust again. Oh, we're never going to love again. Drink you 2 beers, take you a shot, and get your ass back out there and do it better next time, because the bullshit that you just allowed yourself to go through makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Why the fuck would you allow yourself to go? You've been with this girl for almost 3 years, and you telling me that she been treating you like shit for 2 of them 3 years, and you just let it happen, and it took you finding out from going through her phone that she cheating on you in order for you to stop? What? She could have been cheating with the whole NFL roster, and it don't matter, because I would not have been in a relationship long enough to find out, because you're not gonna be disrespecting me. I'm not letting that happen, and no man should allow themselves to go through that shit. So that is the last one of the comments that we had from our fans for tonight. I want to thank you guys for coming to the show. I want to make sure that y'all join the membership. Hit the like button whenever you can. Make sure that you guys come over to our YouTube page, check out the show. We've got a lot of shows lined up for the rest of September going into October. We're going to be spending a lot more time trying to make sure that we iron over the rest of the information on the podcast. But take a look at our merchandise, take a look at the affiliate merchandise that we also promote and agree with, and then really enjoy yourselves on our podcast on the YouTube platform. But for the rest of you that are on the TikTok platform, make sure that you take a look at the videos that we start to release on TikTok, because we got some highlights from the show. We're throwing them up there in multiple different ways. I might actually grab a highlight from here, because I'm dealing with that internet situation. So if this particular version of the show actually has more observation than the other version of the show, then this particular version of the show will turn into shorts and end up on a YouTube platform. The whatever version looks best for me, I'm going to knock that out and utilize it. So just keep your eyes out for that. I typically make shorts of highlights of all of the shows that we have, and primarily put them up on YouTube, but I will definitely make sure that I throw them down on the TikTok platform as well, so that you guys can enjoy the avid releases that we have coming up. However, If you guys got some topics that you want us to talk about, if you guys got some comments and concerns, you can leave that information in the community chat of our channel on YouTube, or you can send us a message on TikTok or Twitter or Twitch, and you can let us know about the concepts that you would like for us to look into, research that you would like for us to acquire, and then also be able to let us know exactly what you would like for us to go over, all this and that and everything in between. And as long as it's appropriate, then you'll be able to dive in and get it done. Typically on our show, we didn't do it today, but we do have the opportunity for you guys to join the membership, not join the membership, join the live podcast, because we are an interactive podcast. You are able to click the mic and click the link, approve the mic, approve the camera, and then jump into the show if you're over the age of 18. So we typically have that as an option that's available for the fans. And we like to share that with you guys so that we can be more interactive, and get you guys 15 minutes of fame if you want to do an appropriate shout out, but you have to be over the age of 18. Or if you want to go over some concepts, you have some questions, you want to have a communication in real time on this open-minded, open forum podcast, we strongly encourage that you guys dive in and take a look at that. Outside of that, like I said before, we're trying to break at least 10,000 so that we can get our stream key, but I like to shoot high and aim for 100,000, and we're typically trying to get there. We got some ups and downs with our followership, but we encourage everybody to at least hit the button so that they get that notification that we're about to go live, so that you can come back and see what we got going on. Because as I walk out the door tonight, I want you guys to know that we are live again, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and 5 Pacific, 7 days a week. So more or less, we sometimes show up on CP time, but going to be here every day of the week. I want you guys to take a look at the show and really come in and try to enjoy yourselves. So as I sign out, we're going to go ahead and walk off of TikTok first, because TikTok, we joined in first. So ladies, I'm going to always tell you that as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to ask you to make it make sense. So ladies, make it make sense. And as we sign out, I appreciate everybody else on YouTube for sticking it out with us. Those of you that are on Twitch that had the opportunity to take a look at us, we really appreciate you guys as well. You guys have been doing a good job of showing us support. So it has definitely made us the one of the best podcasts, one of the best small podcasts, because we have a very small followership. We made us one of the best small podcasts on the YouTube channel. So we want to thank you guys for that. And I'm going to have this internet situation tightened up for tomorrow, so we're not going to have as much lag. Either way, I really appreciate you guys for putting up with it for the day. It's a one-time thing, well, two-time thing, because it kind of started really getting bad yesterday, and I had to work around it. So now that we've kind of gotten it fixed, we should be able to do better for the rest of the week. So by this time tomorrow night, should have the tower in there, and we should be able to talk about it. So with that being said, I really appreciate you guys coming one more time. Thank you, Red Void, Liberty Twitcher, and Silly Emma from Twitch specifically. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the rest of the fans that are loyal to the cause. Thank you for coming to This and That. And I am Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. You guys have a great night.